Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Rossi. Today we are going to make a picture of a hand holding some flowers. Let's get started. What you will be needing today is a piece of blue paper for your background, a piece of brown or beige paper for your hand, some pieces of green paper that are cut into long strips to be our stems, some extra green paper that we can cut into some leaves, and some different colors of paper cut into circles. I'm also going to need a scissor and a glue stick along with my pencil. If you do not have all of these different colors of paper, you can use white paper and cut it into these same shapes and then color them using crayons, markers, or whatever other material you have at home. We're also going to want a marker to add some decorations at the end. I'm going to use a Sharpie, but you can use any different colored marker, or a crayon or a colored pencil will work too. I'm going to put all of these little pieces of paper to the side with my blue paper. I'm going to start with my brown paper and I'm going to trace my hand. I want to spread my fingers out to make it easier when I cut this out, and I'm just going to run my pencil all along, tracing my hand and some of my arm. Like I said, if you don't have a piece of paper that's the same color as your skin tone, you can use crayons and color in a white piece of paper, or use whatever color paper you have. So there is my hand traced on my paper in pencil. I'm just going to take my scissor and cut out my hand. Now that I have my hand cut out, I'm getting my blue piece of paper again, and I am going to position my hand more towards the bottom of my blue paper so it is coming out towards the center. I'm going to grab my glue stick and I am going to glue my hand down onto my paper, but I'm only going to put glue on the middle of my hand and on the arm. I am not putting glue on the fingers. So do not put glue on your fingers, just on the middle of the hand and on the arm. Now my arm is a little big for my paper, so I might have a little extra that's hanging off here in the edge, which is okay because I'm just going to grab my scissor and snip that off. If I flip my paper over, I can see where my blue paper ends and where my brown paper is, so I can cut off just my brown paper. You should have your hand glued onto your blue paper, but all of your fingers should not be glued to your paper. Only the center of our hand and our arm is glued down, but our fingers are still flying in the breeze. Now I can take my long green pieces of paper that I cut for my stems and arrange them on my hand in a way that I like. I'm going to lay them out before I glue them in case I want to change the way that I am placing them. We want to keep all of our ends of our green papers in the center of our hand here, and we want to let the tops spread out a little bit so we have room for our flowers at the top. So I'm keeping all of my ends nice and close together in my hand and keeping the tops spread out. I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to start to glue down my stems for my flowers. I'm going to make sure I don't add any glue on my finger areas. I'm only going to add a little bit of glue towards the center of my hand. If you need to add a little bit more glue on the top of your stems as you are piling them in the center of your hand, you can do that. And I did not put any glue underneath my stems around there either. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my fingers in. Since we didn't glue down our fingers, I can easily fold my paper up and over the top of my stems to make it look like my hand is actually holding my flowers. So I'm just going to bend my paper around my flowers so it looks like I am holding them. So I'm just folding in my fingers towards the center of my hand. Once I like the way that it looks, I can now glue down my fingers. If you want to leave them so you can keep bending them back and forth, you can. You do not have to glue them down. I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the ends of my fingers and in the middle of my hand, and then fold those fingers back down. I'm going to hold my hand and hold my fingers down so I know that that glue sticks and that they are not going to pop back up. So now I have these awesome stems up here, and I have all of these different colored circles for my flowers. So I'm going to pick one color to go on each of my stems. It's okay if they overlap. Mine are definitely going to overlap a little bit. And I'm going to have some of my circles left over. I'm going to glue these pieces of paper down by adding a little bit of glue on the back and sticking them to my paper. Now I'm going to take my extra circles that I had cut. I had 2 of each color, and I'm going to cut them again by just taking my scissor, and I'm going to do little cuts all around the edges of my circle. You can do however many you would like, just doing little snips all the way around. Now that I have those done, I'm going to pick which flower I want this color to go in. I think I'm going to put my orange and my yellow flower over here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue just in the middle of that flower, and I am going to stick this right in the center, pressing the center of my orange paper into the center of my yellow paper where I added that glue. Now I can go in, and where I cut, I can bend my paper up to give my flower some texture. So holding down that middle piece, I am just bending my paper up. So now my flower is 3D. It is coming out into space off of the paper. After that, I can take my marker and I can make some dots inside my flower for little decorations. If you want to draw lines or little pictures in there, you can do that too. I'm doing big dots and I'm doing some little dots. That looks great. I'm going to do the same thing for my other colors. So I'm going to decide what color I want on my red. I think I'm going to use purple. I'm going to cut into my purple circle all around the edge, and then glue that center in to my red flower, making sure I just glue down the middle part so I can fold up the edges. Now that I've finished gluing all my flower tops on, I'm going to take my little green paper and add some leaves. On my little green paper, I'm going to draw a leaf by doing a big long frown line and a big long smile line to connect them. So 2 curvy lines that are connected at points. I'm going to make 2 leaves today. So I'm going to do the same thing again where I'm doing a big frown line connected to a big smile line at points. I'm going to cut these out with my scissor, and I think I'm going to put one over here. If you want to add some in the middle of your stems, you can do that also. Maybe I'll actually put this one right here so it's overlapping a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of my leaf and stick it right down on my stem. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this leaf and attach it to this stem. I'm going to take my Sharpie marker and I'm going to draw a little line inside my leaf for details, and I am finished. Now this could be a great project that you can give to someone who you'd like to give flowers to, since you did draw your hand holding a big bouquet of flowers. If you want to give this to mom or grandma or your aunts or other friends and family, you can give this to them as a great Mother's Day gift. You can even write a little note in the space to the side. I hope you enjoyed making this project today, and I hope to see you soon. Try your best, have fun, and get creative. Bye!